Hello students, today's topic of discussion is heat coagulation test. This test is done for detection of albumin in urine, mainly the bedside detection of albumin in urine, as this test generally does not require a chemical. Got it? So what are the apparatus required? Test tube is required. Okay. See, this is positive heat coagulation test. Observe the upper 1/3 part. There is white turbidity. Okay, and lower part act as a control. So we'll demonstrate that. Test tube is required, test tube holder is required, then urine sample is required, spirit lamp is required. Okay, and generally acetic acid does not required, but it is helpful to differentiate between protein and phosphate. Got it? So take a test tube, clean dry test tube, and fill the test tube, fill the 3/4 of the test tube with the urine sample. Okay. Now apply test tube holder and hit the upper 1/3 part of the test tube, only upper 1/3 part. Got it? Lower part of the test tube act as a control. अगर आपने लोअर पार्ट को हिट कर दिया तो पूरा का पूरा सॉल्यूशन बॉईल होगा या हीट होगा. हमको सिर्फ ऊपर का पार्ट हिट करना है ताकि हम कंपेयर कर सके दोनों में. गॉट इट? और जब भी हिट करते हो तभी इसका जो माउथ रहता है ये अपने दुश्मन की तरफ रखने का, जनरली ऐसा नहीं करने का. नाउ हिट द अपर 1/3 पार्ट and observe the change. Now observe the change. This is white turbidity in the upper 1/3 part. Lower part of the test tube act as a control. Got it? So white turbidity or coagulum, it is due to the denaturation of proteins. That indicates positive heat coagulation test, that indicates presence of protein in the urine, mainly the albumin. Now if acetic acid is added, 1 drop of acetic acid is added to differentiate it between protein and phosphate. Okay, if the turbidity is due to phosphate, it disappears when we add the 1 drop of acetic acid, and turbidity will intensify or remain as it is when it is due to proteins. Got it? Because it brings the urine solution to the isoelectric point of the albumin, means make the urine solution slightly acidic. This is positive heat coagulation test, and generally proteins are excreted in urine in patients with nephrotic syndrome or glomerulonephritis, when kidney disease is there, when there is damage to the glomerulus. Normally albumin does not appear in the urine because of negative charge heparan sulfate. Albumin is negatively charged and heparan sulfate is also negatively charged. So negative repulsion is there and albumin does not appear in the urine. But whenever there is damage to the glomerulus, there is loss of negative charge and albumin appears in the urine. This is a bedside test for detection of albumin in urine. Also it can be used for the detection of Benzone proteins, that is in the multiple myeloma. It has typical characteristic. It will show the coagulum in between 50 to 60 degree. And when the temperature increases, coagulum disappears and it reappears on the cooling when it reaches the 50 to 60 degree centigrade. So it is also useful for detection of Benzone proteins in the urine. The other tests which are done for the protein estimation or protein detection of protein in the urine are Heller's test and sulfosalicylic acid test. This is based on the denaturation by the physical agent, that is heat. Denaturation means loss of secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure of protein. Primary structure remain intact. So, see, this is a positive heat coagulation test. So keep watching. Thank you.